Hey, ladies and gentlemen, it is a beautiful day to paint and a gorgeous day to paint the fun parrotfish. It's like a swimming paint palette. This is the first week of Caribbean month. I'm super excited. You can get the palette passport for this, which includes color mixing recipes and my colors exactly that I'm using. I'm using Daniel Smith, but you can use student grade, professional grade, anything. Basically, you're gonna mix up a lime green, yellow. This is a turquoise blue. It looks darker here, and an orange and a rose pink. So I did a quin rose and mixed it with titanium, but if you have a lighter pink, you can. So guys, I have this blocked out. It is a fairly decently simple design to draw, but I have the traceable in that palette passport as well. It's free, it's linked below. But go ahead and make the shape wavy, make it kind of fun. This is a little whimsical. This is not a scientifically accurate drawing. So go ahead, and the parrot is named for parrotfish because of its beak-like mouth. So trying to make it look a little bit like a beak. And then I'm just putting some very abstract little coral in the background. We're going to erase that, lighten it up, and then get ready. I'm taking my gum eraser, opening it to a nice and new spot, and just rolling a little bit over so that we're picking up some of the lead, the pencil marks, but we are not, we're leaving enough, but we're not ripping our paper. So that's the key. Okay, guys, are you ready? The first thing we're going to do is take clean water, and I have a number 6, a 4, and a 2. I'm working on a mini 4x4. If you guys are doing bigger, then do bigger. Do whatever size you want. But I'm doing wetting the background of everything in the body of the fish, but leaving the fins out and the eyes and the lips. So just wetting all this and leaving, like I said, the fins, the eyes, and the lips. We're gonna do the tail also. So go ahead with that. We can go ahead and wet a little bit of our corals too while we're at it, while we're waiting for the other to dry. I'm gonna do 2 kind of fun blobby shapes down here, literally just circles, and then a couple up here too, just to be kind of fun, looking like little things, larger coral things in the back, and then a couple of the fun kind of finger looking corals coming up. This is based on a trip to Barbados where they have amazing snorkeling. You can do snorkeling with sea turtles and so many cool things. We were there on a research trip where my husband was doing a book on his family background, and so he was looking at archives in Barbados and amazing stuff while I was snorkeling. Okay, let's let that dry for a second. Okay, so here's the fun. I'm gonna do this with my number 6, and we're gonna take a little of your turquoise and start dropping some into the body. And it's only gonna go where we've already wet it. And then I'm just dropping, kind of using my brush to spread a little. And I'm gonna stop here and leave the rest of the tail. We're gonna do so many fun colors, guys. Reminder, I'm gonna show you my marker map. This is definitely, the parrotfish has so many different varieties. This one is going to be the most colorful random variety we're kind of making, but they do have parrotfish, rainbow parrotfish, queen parrotfish, so many kinds. Okay, see what I'm doing here too? I'm gonna get clean water on my brush right now, clean, and I dabbed it, and I'm putting a little down here, more water to sort of spread that down. So we want it a little darker there and sort of spread, it's like a little gradient. So let's drop some more at the top here, and then a little along here. Perfect. And then I kept the head lighter. See, just did a little touch of the light. Okay, while it's still wet, let's go ahead and get your bright yellow. Depending on what palette you have, I have a lemon yellow. Actually, this one is Hansa Yellow Light. You could use, actually I have a Hansa Yellow Deep, sorry, lied. But you could use whatever, just kind of a really egg yolky yellow, dark tint. And that's gonna go, remember we're avoiding that little fin right there. That's gonna head up in there. While we're at it, guys, let's put some of our yellow down here, just random. Look, I have it pretty wet, my brush, so it's just this little light thing. I'm gonna put a little yellow up here, and I'm gonna go back in my blue and do a little here. I'm just dropping. You guys decide where. This is all just totally up to you. We're just creating a little tiny bit of a coral reef down here. So fun. See? Okay, perfect. Let's take, we're leaving the fins because we want to do those kind of, we're going to do those wet on dry. But while we're letting that go, I have something to show you. This is so cool, guys. I actually discovered this by trial and error. I did not see this or learn this anywhere else, but this is a toothpick. So I wanted something really small, and they have these cute little fins. So if you go in here, look guys, and we take the toothpick and scratch out little diamond shaped or like a little bit circle, see what's happening? I'm gonna zoom in closely so you can see it, but look what happens. And you could scratch this on lots of other designs, but what's going on here is that we're making divots in the paper without ripping it up. I'm not scratching so hard, I'm gonna pull all the paper up with me. But it's making, you see what I'm saying? It's making little texture in there for us. We could do this later with like a watercolor pencil or something else, but I think this is really fun. It's allowing that pigment. Look, I'm gonna go down into this yellow area too, guys. And it's gonna take some of the yellow pigment for us, and we're gonna wash over it again, and you're gonna see some of this show up even more. But I think that's really cool. You could also make little dots and pock marks. We can try that when we get to the coral. But how fun is that? we're just making little hints that there's little scales all over. So fun. Let's take a little blue, lighten. I'm gonna do some water and add in my little blue and then wash over it again so we can get it darker. See, look. Oh my gosh, it's almost like doing a rubbing. Like a print rubbing. Amazing. I love that. Do you love that? I love that. And I love that guys, you can discover stuff like this every time you pull out your paints. That's the magic of this whole thing. You're always discovering stuff. While we're discovering, I'm getting a little light pink on mine, and I'm dropping in over here a couple places just to have a little bit of light pink because I wanted my little corals to have a little light pink too. Okay, perfect. Now, actually, I think they're gonna be pink, the coral themselves. So while we have the pink, let's get green. And I'm switching down to my 4 because now we're kind of painting in some smaller areas here. I'm going to get my green. Remember, we're doing wet on dry. I don't want this super wet, my brush right now. So right now, it's kind of dropping just a little bit of that green in there. And I'm gonna do green for the tail as well. This direction. And I have a little wavy tail. And then they are really amazing, guys. We have some biology knowledge I'm gonna drop on you. Do you know that they use this beak to break up the coral in the reef? And they poop sand. They poop sand into the coral reef to help rebuild the sand in the coral reef. They're little eco-friendly machines. Okay, I'm brushing this in, and I'm just getting a little layer here. We're just brushing it on and getting that little layer. See, it's mixing here a little. That's okay. Right at the edge. I'm trying really to avoid the edge there of the blue. Okay, we've got that. Now, here's something really fun that I think you guys are gonna like. I'm gonna dip my brush in, and I'm gonna get a little bit of a corally pink, and I'm gonna avoid my green and dab right above it. Look, right there, right there, right there, and right there. We're really making these whimsical fish, but just wait till you see what we're gonna do. So I'm gonna take my toothpick, and I'm gonna drag it in, and that's gonna make the lines for me there. How cool is that? I'm really loving this toothpick today, guys. Do you love it? And then we can wave that over here, like wave the edge of that fin a little bit, make that. So I love that. I'm gonna rub that a little bit here to blend it in a little. This is plain water on a 4 brush. Just meld that line in a little bit. Okay, perfect. And then let's do the same at the top, but let's do that one with blue. So I'm gonna do my little blue dots. I may do these as dashed lines because what happened at the bottom is I ended up needing to put some more. So look, I'm getting pretty wet blue here and making kind of a ridge of it up at this top. See? I'm making like, you know, making little dots, but they have plenty of pigment in them. Let's get our famous toothpick again and scratch down a little. And just make some scratches for the dorsal fin. Is that the dorsal? The top, yes. Ventral is the bottom. So for this dorsal fin, love it. Let's see what we got there. I love that. I think it's cool. Now let's do the same for the tail too. I think that will look cool if we drag it over. Oh, I just did pink. Should we do pink there? I think we should do blue. I don't know. Guys, I'm conflicted. I think blue. I don't know why, I just feel like that should be blue too. We'll do some more pink elsewhere. Okay, get a little bit more of your blue and dab it at the edge again because this is dry now. We needed some more there. We need some more there anyway. Okay, take your little thing, drag it out. Look. And so it's also making little divots. So then that I'm gonna charge, it's called charging when we drop a little bit more in here. I'm gonna charge some more in here. And look, he's traveling up through those lines a little bit. I think that is so cool. Look, you see what I'm saying? I love that. And then I'm gonna put some water here to help spread this way. Some of that tail stuff. I love that. I think that is so cool how it's spreading that way. I'm gonna help it a little with my toothpick. Spread yourself this way. There we go. And then we can, I love that. We can also get this like to the tip here while you get a little blue on there with your little toothpick and then go to the tip here maybe so that it's defining the edge of this. And maybe here. Okay, perfect. Let's get pink and orange. Let's go down to our, we're going to grab our bottom fins and the fin inside the body. Okay, so we're gonna take, I still have my number 4. And I've got this pinky corally and I'm gonna dab more here. This is the fin by the gills. And I'm gonna have more there and then I'm gonna do a little clean water and help that spread up sort of like a little gradient up to the top. So this is my clean water, but guys, I'm trying to be careful not to get it with the blue and the yellow that was already damp. So I'm gonna leave it at that. I'm gonna add a little more corally pink into mine and dab it just at the tip here. Okay, then I'm going to do maybe a little more, guys. Like I said, it's called charging when you add a little bit more into an area that has somewhere to travel. And guys, while we have this, I'm gonna go ahead and outline the bottom of the dorsal thing. Okay, then let's do that same thing. Let's make the, there's 2 little fins here. Let's make the back one the dark pink and then the top one can be orange. You guys also, whatever color you want to use, you go for it. This is just this is out of my own head. I'm not following, like I said, an actual parrotfish. I'm just making it up from lots of pictures. So let's take a look at this right here at the end. I just wet my brush, dried it, and then I'm taking off some of the bottom because it was too much everywhere, the same shade, the same value. Okay, I'm taking my orange and I'm dabbing it in here. For orange, you'll see what we do. Okay, I'm going to do this, and that's good for there. I don't want that to mix into the yellow that's up there. While we have our orange, guys, get your paintbrush to a point. So roll it a little bit, make a pointy. We are about to get into the beak. This is a super fun little area up here where it takes its sharp little, its teeth have fused into one solid mass. And it takes that and crunches up the coral reef. How cute is that? Does that look like a parrot beak? I'm not really sure. I think this has to come straighter. There, that's looking like a parrot beak. What do y'all think? I can imagine a bird. So I did a little straight line and then a curve and then down. What we want to do now is take the eye and outline that in orange. Leave the center. We're going to have that outlined in orange. We're going to be center. We're going to put some black in. Okay, we are over here. I let this dry for a second with the orange, and now let's take this. And look, just drag in the lines, same as before. And you can do that into the pink too if you want. And then let's do that here. Oh my gosh, I love this. Toothpick is really doing the heavy lifting for us today. While we have the orangey pink on your brush, let's get the thinnest mixture, which by that I mean a lot of water and not as much pigment. And let's put that up into our, I'm gonna do pink, up into our corals. And I want it just to look, some of these to look like they're in the back, so they'll be really light. Some of them are coming in front of the coral, the other little blobs, some of them are behind. This one is just fun. Just make little fingers that come up, curve, make little U shapes. Look at a reference picture if you want, but this is completely more just out of my imagination. I'm gonna do that here, same thing. And I'm not doing any kind of blending or I'm just painting this wet on dry and not worried about how it's blending or anything, how anything's going. Some of the areas will naturally be a little darker. I had some that are lighter. So get that all in there. And I'm gonna have it come up behind the fish, our little parrotfish. Over here. And then those will look like they're kind of way behind. We can do a couple. Also, you can do a couple like little fan. You know how they go real skinny and kind of fan coral. You know how that comes out like that? Try that. So fun. I'm gonna do that again. So now this time I have a lot of pigment on my brush and I made it to a point, almost like ink. And that's what I'm doing here. Just getting a couple of those in. Okay, that's fun. It just added a little interest. Then, what do we have next? Oh, I would like us to deepen the yellow a little down here. We definitely wanted to do our second pass. So I have wet. Now it's pretty much wet on dry because our underneath first wash, or wet on wet, is dry. So I wanted that there so that we could really get some more of that yellow going. And it's spreading up for us. That's really nice. And then we're going to help that mix a little bit. And it's going to do a little green in there where it comes together, but it's really kind of light. And because the body of the fish, 3D wise, is lighter in the middle, that's already happening for us, so we're good. You guys, now it's just fun. We've had this yellow part drying for a little bit, so it's okay to do some indents down here if you want to do that with a toothpick. I have still a little blue left on the tip of this one, but that's okay. That's looking kind of good too. But we're gonna see, we're making a little divot so that that yellow is depositing itself in that dent in the paper. I don't have a lot, but I kind of like how that looks. I'm gonna do some over here. I'm just making, we can make little octagons. They have their scales go like sort of like sideways seashells, but I just kind of made them in a diamond pattern. And we can do this too a little bit here. Some lines for the tail going that way. Okay guys, I did also, if you want, I did a little outline on the edge of the tail with yellow. Did a little bit of, I dropped in also a little orange into a couple lines for the coral and just made sure I liked how the colors were looking there. And last but not least, I'm gonna get a pen for this because I want to be able to control it, but get a really thin kind of permanent pen and go ahead in with the eye. I'm gonna leave a little bit of white around the eye so that we have like a little bit of a buffer. And that's about it, y'all. You can use a white gel pen if you want, or a white acrylic marker. Maybe you want to dot some into your corals. Look, let's do that. A couple dots. This is all just fun. Add in some whimsy. Super fun little parrotfish. I hope you guys get a chance to see one on your travels someday. Definitely amazing for the ecology of the area. They also at night secrete a mucus bubble around themselves so they don't give out scent to predators, so they can sleep undisturbed. How awesome is that? Hey guys, I wanted to show you two fun things I did. I decided when I peeled this off that I did need to have the tiniest bit of a blue background. So I wet it and put in the teensy tiniest bit of blue and kind of went in between some of the coral. I wet the coral, dabbed it off to be sure it was kind of in the back and the fish was popping forward. And I took my white paint marker and added a row. You don't need this, but it's kind of fun, or a gel pen when it's dry, of little dots along the border where the blue and the yellow kind of mix, and that makes it pop out a little bit there. Did a nice dot in the eye. And then for these bubbles, here's the trick. Do the outline in white, go around the outside for a bubble, and then highlight, do the shadow around the bottom in blue. So then take your really thin brush, take a dark blue, your regular blue, not super dark, and then just go around the bottom, and then that pops it out. And then once that's totally dry, mine isn't, but I'm impatient, then do like a little dot highlight the bubble in one part. There you go. How cute is that, guys? Grab your snorkel fins and your mask, and hopefully you guys can go experience something cool underwater this summer or beyond. Okay guys, next time we are going to do a veranda scene looking out over the Caribbean Sea, the Barbados veranda. Beautiful. Join me then. Grab the palette passport. It's totally free. You join the Art Mojo community. I send one email a month, and that's your free palette passport. It's free for the month of August, and then it goes to $5 on Etsy. So grab it now while you can. So glad you guys were here. Hope you had fun. See you next time. Keep your mojo flowing.